In this video, we're going to look at some teaching strategies, accommodations, and modifications for students with dyslexia. One teaching strategy that you can do is provide well-done, exemplary examples of finished products. This will help clarify and provide a framework for students to create their own work. Another strategy is to assign reading buddies. This is similar to peer tutoring, except it's less formal. Classrooms should aim to have designated quiet places for students with dyslexia to be able to read in peace. The longer the reading assignment, the more challenging it will be for a child with dyslexia. It's advantageous for students when teachers chunk or break down reading assignments. One way to better help these children read is to use large print texts. It makes words easier to recognize just because of the size. Teachers should pre-teach vocabulary to dyslexic students before reading any type of short story, novel, or other reading assignment. Sentence starters are another effective teaching strategy. Teachers use sentence starters to give students ideas on how to start their paragraphs and sentences. Diagnosis and frequent assessment are necessary for long-term reading success for students with dyslexia. Colored overlays are an inexpensive tool that may benefit dyslexic children. They are all meant to alleviate stress and help remove symptoms associated with dyslexia. Provide letter strips for these children. Teachers can place these on student desks to help improve letter recognition. School districts need to understand that dyslexia is a disability, which puts these students at a disadvantage. Teachers should grade for content. A great strategy to help improve reading for dyslexic children is to enlist their parents and guardians to help out and work to improve the quality of their child's education. Because these students have difficulties reading and recognizing words, audio supports are a great supplement to any reading activity. Another great supplemental support is text-to-speech software. I encourage parents, teachers, and advocates to put pressure on the school district to pay for this software if needed. Dyslexic students may not comprehend material the first reading. Give these students multiple opportunities. Teachers should incorporate interesting topics for the students into the class readings. This may get them excited. Next, teachers should consider utilizing a multi-sensory approach to instruction. I'm not talking about learning styles, I'm talking about allowing students to learn through multiple modalities. And lastly, provide students with guiding questions during their reading assignments. Let these questions point your students in the right direction while keeping them engaged in the assignment. Hello and welcome to Teachings in Education. This video will introduce several different teaching strategies for students with dyscalculia. One of the best methods for getting students engaged with mathematics is to have math lessons related to real-world application. Another teaching strategy is to incorporate math word walls into your classroom. Students may get confused with words like terms, coefficients, degree, exponents, etc. and so forth. When teaching word problems involving area, perimeter, be sure to draw out the diagrams for the students. This will help them better visualize and understand the problem. Students with dyscalculia will benefit from teachers that emphasize key concepts. For example, teachers may want to stress changing the sign of inequalities when dividing by negative numbers. Most students with this disability are afforded calculators as accommodation. They should also be taught how to actually use these calculators. Although some teachers don't believe in cooperative learning, there is research that supports its effectiveness. Allow these students to benefit from working with their peers. One of the best methods is to use concrete instruction. Concrete instruction should be taught before moving on to abstract mathematics ideas. Diagnostic testing is very beneficial because it will help identify some of the glaring gaps that these students with this disability will have with various concepts. These students need a sort of problem-solving strategies toolkit to help them be successful. Cubes is one example. For math exams, worksheets, and quizzes, teachers should highlight words like not that may confuse students. Teachers can highlight concepts on study guides as well. Math fact charts can also make a difference for students with dyscalculia. The fact chart may have formulas, acronyms such as PEMDAS. Teachers should try to give test-taking students extra time, and not just for exams, but for classwork and homework assignments as well. Teachers should try to instill metacognitive strategies in these students to help them succeed. These strategies include self-assessing and self-regulation. As a way to scaffold instruction for these children, teachers may want to provide step-by-step guides or guided notes. Flowcharts can be used to outline the step-by-step procedures in solving a variety of different math problems. Have students create their own flowcharts as well. Students with dyscalculia need further engagement. A great strategy, and this is for all students, is to ask stimulating questions. Providing graph paper for these children may further help them understand the coordinate pair relationship, linear equations, reflections, and more. Lastly, number line calculators really help out for students that struggle understanding positive and negative numbers, adding and subtracting, and greater than or less than comparisons. Right now, I want to thank you for your time. Please check the description for resources related to Dyscalculia. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, hit the thumbs up button. Hello and welcome to Teachings in Education. This video will introduce several different teaching strategies, modifications, and accommodations for students with dysgraphia. Pencils and pen grips. These grips are used to improve handwriting, which gives more control to the writer. It also helps reduce hand fatigue. Next, raised line papers are used as a sensory guide for students with disabilities. For students with severe forms of dysgraphia, text-to-speech may be the best way to get their writing started. If speech-to-text software isn't a viable option, probably due to cost, simply allow the student to audio record themselves. They can go back and write down what was said. Sometimes dysgraphia students have trouble coming up with writing ideas. Teachers should have brainstorming activities at the beginning of class to help come up with these ideas. Teachers are starting to allow students to use the computer to type their own words and thoughts. Most of society now writes using a computer anyway. Obviously, it's going to be tough for these students to keep up with note-taking in the classroom. Teachers must provide copies of the notes to these students, which will allow them to focus on absorbing the material. Avoid giving essay-type responses as questions to content exam. Instead, provide circle answer type questions, such as multiple choice. Teachers should try and find some time, which may be difficult, to sit and proofread over the product with the students. Dysgraphia affects all subjects for students, including math. In math, these children may have to create graphs, so provide them with graph paper to make it easier for them. Understand that dysgraphia is a learning disability, therefore teachers should try not to penalize them for spelling mistakes or other small mistakes made in writing. Larger writing assignments may be too much for them to handle. Break down the assignment into smaller, more manageable tasks. Children with dysgraphia may struggle with things that most teachers and students take for granted, like writing in names, dates, and titles, having this part of the assignment already filled in. If you are having dysgraphia students copying notes in the classroom, give them additional time to get the notes copied. Writing organizers are a great supplement that can easily be provided to these students. Organizers will help these students connect one idea to another. Because these students struggle in writing, try to evaluate their understanding of content through other teaching methods, such as oral reports, which will help improve their ability to communicate. Offer these students with dysgraphia the opportunity to write in either print or cursive. If they are better at one than the other, allow them to use the one to their advantage. And lastly, when it comes to writing lessons, show these students finished samples of written products. They should be exemplary samples of student work. Right now, I want to say thank you for your time. Please check the description for resources related to dysgraphia. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit the thumbs up button.